Have you ever wondered what happens to your old t-shirts, jeans, plastic bottles, or even broken toys once you're done with them? You might think they just sit in a landfill forever, right? Well, guess what? A lot of these things are now being used to build the streets, bridges, and buildings you see every day. Believe it or not, civil engineers have figured out how to turn these old materials into strong bricks and other building supplies. In this video, we'll look at how old clothes and plastic waste are being used in construction, and also some cool projects that are already happening around the world. First, let's remind ourselves what civil engineering is. Civil engineering is all about designing and building the things that help our world work, like roads, bridges, buildings, and dams. But there's a big problem that civil engineers are trying to solve. Materials like concrete and bricks are expensive to make, and they can also hurt the environment. Making them requires mining natural resources and creates a lot of pollution. Plus, it takes a lot of energy and heat to produce them, which adds to climate change, making it worse for our planet. Now, imagine if we can help solve this problem by using stuff we already have too much of. Every year, millions of tons of old clothes, fabrics, and plastics are thrown away. This is called textile and plastic waste, and most of it ends up in landfills where it takes hundreds of years to break down, releasing harmful chemicals and gases into the air. But what if instead of just throwing it away, we could turn these materials into something useful and good for the environment? So, how exactly do engineers transform textile waste and plastics into construction materials? It starts with something called fiber reinforcement and plastic recycling. These methods involve mixing tiny fibers or plastic pieces into another material to make it stronger. Think of it like adding metal rods called rebar to concrete to make it tougher. Here, the fibers from old clothes and plastic pieces are mixed into materials like cement or clay to make stronger bricks or blocks. First, the textile and plastic waste are collected and sorted. And not all fabrics or plastics are the same. For example, cotton, polyester, and wool each have different qualities, so they need to be separated. Different types of plastics, like the kind used in bottles, PET, and the kind used in toys, HDPE, also need to be sorted. Then, these fabrics and plastics are shredded into small pieces and mixed with base materials like clay or cement. This mixture is shaped into bricks or other building blocks and then hardened, making it strong and ready to use. But this sounds like such a long, complicated process. So why go through all this work? The answer is that these fibers and plastic pieces make the building materials much better. They make the bricks lighter, which makes them easier to transport and install. They also improve insulation, meaning buildings will stay warmer in the winter and cooler in the summer. Most importantly, the fibers and plastics increase the tensile strength of the bricks. That means they are better at handling pulling or stretching without breaking, so they're less likely to crack. Now, you might be thinking this is just an idea engineers are testing in a lab, but it's already being used in the real world. In the United States, a company called Bi-Fusion is taking plastic waste, like old plastic bottles and packaging, and turning it into strong recycled blocks called bi-blocks. These blocks can be used to build things like garden walls, retaining walls, and even houses. What's really awesome is that they don't need to sort the plastics or use any chemicals, which makes it better for the environment. Bi-Fusion's goal is to reduce plastic waste by turning it into useful building materials. This is already helping the environment and the construction industry at the same time. In West Africa, plastic waste is also being turned into bricks, and they are using them to build affordable schools. This region needs more classrooms for kids, and with these new bricks, over 300 classrooms have been built at a much lower cost. The bricks are lighter and can be easily transported to remote areas where regular building materials are hard to find. They can even build a classroom in just a month. In the United Kingdom, engineers are using old clothes to make composite materials. These are materials made from combining different things to create something stronger than the parts alone. By mixing shredded textiles and plastics with resin, which is a sticky substance that hardens, they've made strong, lightweight panels that can be used for walls or furniture. Another exciting thing is that these recycled materials are also being used in road construction. Researchers found that adding shredded plastic or textile fibers to asphalt helps prevent cracks and potholes. This means the roads last longer and need less fixing. This is especially helpful in places with extreme weather, where roads expand and shrink due to temperature changes. These improved plastic roads have already been tested in the United States. In a Los Angeles, California project, engineers added plastic from recycled bottles into the asphalt to pave a street. California is one of the first states to try using plastic in roads, and if it continues to work well, more roads across the country could be built using recycled plastic. So, why should we go through this effort to use textile and plastic waste in construction? Well, the biggest reason is that it's good for the environment. Like we talked about earlier, it takes less heat and energy to make construction materials with recycled waste, which means less pollution. Plus, using this waste helps reduce the amount of trash in landfills, which can take centuries to break down. So, instead of letting old clothes and plastics sit in landfills, we can use them to build bricks and other materials, saving natural resources. And buildings made with these materials are also more energy efficient, which means they use less energy to stay warm or cool, helping to fight climate change. Of course, like any other new technology, there are still some challenges to work out. One big challenge is making enough of these materials to build big things like skyscrapers or highways. So, engineers are working on ways to speed up production and make it easier. Another challenge is making sure these new materials meet safety standards. Buildings and roads need to be strong enough to handle things like earthquakes and heavy traffic. While early tests show these materials are strong, more research is needed to make sure they're safe to be used over a long period of time. But despite these challenges, the future looks bright for using recycled materials in construction. As more people and companies learn about the benefits, the more people we have working on improving the use of them. And if that's the case, we'll likely see this technology used more often. Some experts think that within the next decade, it could become normal to always use old clothes and plastics in construction projects around the world. So, the next time you're cleaning out your closet or tossing a plastic bottle in the recycle bin, remember that they might one day become part of a bridge, a road, or even a building. Engineers are finding creative ways to turn trash into treasure. By using textile and plastic waste to make strong bricks and other building materials, we're helping to reduce waste, save resources, and build a more sustainable future. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed learning about how we can use textile and plastic waste in the world of civil engineering. Be sure to check out our other videos and stay tuned for more fun engineering topics. And remember to like and subscribe to our channel because engineering is for everyone.